Hello everyone and welcome to my channel. I'm Mike Rondo, and today on this video I'm going to do two videos. I'll do a pipe smoking video after this, but I wanted to do another book video, which not a very popular thing on my channel as of yet, but I'm still going to mix things up, and for the few that like books that follow me, you'll enjoy this. But I'll make this quick. I'm not going to go too long. We're talking about Philip and Alexander, which is about Alexander the Great and his father Philip. And I gotta say, this so far I've read 9 books. This was like my 4th, I think, of the year, and this is by far probably my favorite so far. I read a couple of history books. If you follow me on Instagram, there's I post it just to keep track of how many books I'm reading in the year. I'm just curious of what that is. I lost track last year. But anyway, enough of that. So Philip and Alexander, of course it's Philip II, I believe is if I remember right, and Alexander the Great. Obviously, we all know about Alexander the Great and all these things and how great he was and all this stuff. He's referenced a lot in Rome, in the ancient world a lot because of what he accomplished. But the interesting thing that I found in this, the more compelling thing in this book, is probably, let's go about like this much, or at least half of it. It goes a while. Is King Philip and how he was able to basically lay the foundation down for Alexander the Great to accomplish what Alexander the Great did. Because had Philip not done what he did, I don't think Alexander would have been as big a deal as he is. But it was fascinating. And the interesting thing, and I don't know if I can find it. Let me see if I can find it. As I was going through all of this, let me see. It's a YouTube channel. It's called Kings and something. Kings and Generals, I think it's called. Hold on, let me just punch it up. Yes, so Kings and Generals. So as you're going on and reading this, I suggest kind of checking that out. It explains the battles and what was happening, and you get a better understanding of what's going on when things are happening and why they happen the way they did. So I do recommend that. If I remember to put a link in the description below, do that. So again, not to go too far and make this into a big long video on this book, because I highly enjoyed this book, and I learned quite a bit. I thought I knew about Alexander the Great, but I didn't know as much as I thought I knew, and this is very in-depth. It's awesome, but the best part about it is really King Philip, and what he was able to accomplish and what he did and all of that. I highly recommend it. The other thing is this particular version of the book, and this is where I'll spend more time talking about it. Let me put my glasses on for a second here. As you can see, this is a thick book. It's like 400 and 500 and something pages, right? Very floppy. You don't need to, it's very durable. Like this is very, you can flop this all around, throw this around. It can take abuse. Seems like the cover is pretty waterproof or water resistant. The pages themselves, the words are big. Like you can read it and you're not straining your eyes. Even though I got to wear my glasses these days, if you don't need glasses and you're getting a little older and you might be a little harder before you get into the glasses where I am, this is definitely a good book for that. This is no problem. This version of it I liked. There's some maps in here, and again, you could be reading all the way back here, and you can fold it up. There you go, as I cracked it, and it's perfect. It's fine. Like you see, I just made a crack there, but it's still taking on the abuse. Like this will take quite a bit. I will read this again sometime in the future. I don't know when, maybe a couple of years from now, but definitely check it out for at least for the stuff with King Philip, because that I don't mean to hop on it and keep saying that, but the stuff with King Philip, and what was going on, and how the politics were working with that whole thing, and how he was able to lay that foundation down for Alexander, and even Alexander. I don't mean to kind of poo-poo Alexander, because what he accomplished was amazing too. And it's interesting because you judge it with the 21st century eyes, or the 20th century. I'm from the 20th century and living in the 21st century now, and you kind of judge how people are based on what you're living in. And that's really not fair. But these men are men of their times, and the circumstances are of their times and everything. And I was a little conflicted because when I'm reading it, most parts you're like, okay. And maybe it was played down in this. I don't know. I'd have to find more of the bad with Alexander and Philip. I mean, it is brought up in here and everything, but it seems to placate to they were more kinder than others in that time frame, and they probably were. They seem to be, you know, judging based on keeping control of the population. Like they just wanted to conquer, but they didn't want an uprising and all that. And the way they went about it was good. So I don't think they were the wholesale mass murder thing like Genghis Khan, Attila the Hun, which are two people in history that I need to go and study more about. So as much as I say that, I'd have to read up on them. I haven't really read anything other than what I've read in school and all that stuff. So, but this is a fantastic book. Again, it's very durable, and I know I made a crack with it. The spine's fine, just so you can see. So just see, it's me just bending it like that. It was great. So highly recommend it. A lot of information. I highlighted quite a bit in here. I went through a few highlighters. I ran out of one of them. Actually, I bought some Sharpie highlighters that you can see through it, so you can see as you're going, and they just didn't last. They couldn't hold up to things, so I don't recommend those. But in any case, this is going to be a short video. I'm going to wrap it up here. I don't want to bore everyone too much. I got plenty of other books to get to do little reviews going forward, and so check those out. Highly recommend this one. Let me know what you think if you read it, or if you're going to read it, what your thoughts are on this book, because I really like this. This is probably one of my favorite history books to date, and I read a couple of good ones that I'm going to review in a couple of weeks, which were pretty, well, they were graphic, they're hard. It's going to be even hard for me to talk about it, so I don't even know how I'm going to do those videos. I might not even do them right away. Some of that stuff is still setting and sitting in my head. So anyway, but this, highly recommend if you're into the ancient world. This is probably a must if you're into ancient history, classical Greek and all that stuff. You definitely want to check this out. If that, I actually got the sequel to this because I was so intrigued, and I'll just talk about this real quick. It's called Ghost on the Throne, which is what happens after Alexander dies. For all his brilliance, I'll just say this real quick, the way he left things just turned into utter chaos, so to speak, and that's what that book is. It's a shorter book, so it'll be interesting to read that. I'm currently reading The Executioners, what's the name of it? Anyway, it's about a German executioner and his life and all that stuff. So I'm going to read that, and then I'm going to go into the Ghosts on the Throne and see how it ties in with that. Just because it was so captivating how this book, and then you're like, after you're done reading it, you're like, and even some of the characters that are mentioned in here, you want to go on and read about that. There's a few of them. What's it called? The Poison King, and I can't remember his name off the top of my head here. It's been about a month since I read this, but definitely it makes you want to continue reading more about Alexander the Great. King Philip, if I could find another book on King Philip, I'd probably read that as well. But anyway, that's going to do it. Thanks for joining me, and I'm on to a pipe smoking video. See you there.